What I learned about American manufacturing is, the initial film. It started off, from a tragedy in my own family. Century Aluminum shut down in my hometown of Ravenswood, West Virginia. It decimated an entire town. I mean, we're still fighting, trying to keep that small town atmosphere alive, but it really hurt when that manufacturing facility left. And as I, noticed through the course of my film that the American dream is still alive. There's still people fighting for American manufacturing, just like the Alliance for American Manufacturing. And I really think that the demand is coming back, and people realize that made in America equals jobs in America. So I think the fight for the American dream is still alive. And I think this next year, I think 2014 is going to be a big year for American manufacturing. Oh, of course. When you see what happens to a town when a manufacturing facility like that leaves, and you see that it's happening all around the country, you can't help but to feel lost and feel like you don't know what the future holds. And as I traveled around the country and met with business leaders, workers, and just folks on the street, I feel like they're still optimistic about the American dream and American manufacturing. And like I said, they're realizing that made in America equals jobs in America. So I think in 2014, I think is going to be a big year. Oh, you threw me for a loop for that one. One of the most unfortunate, I really enjoyed the story, but we had so many stories about clothing, was Jolie and Elizabeth. And that is a dressmaking company, women's clothing making company in New Orleans. And their story was so great. They took a manufacturing facility that was, basically on the outs. They were ready to close up shop. And they basically said, hey, give us a chance. And we want to create clothing here in New Orleans. And, the story that they had behind that and how they turned that area around and what they're currently doing was, something to be said about determination and wanting to keep their American dream alive. And they really, really turned around that manufacturing facility. And as far as I know, they're still very successful as of today. Well, if I can do it, I think anybody can. I mean, I went from someone who never looked at the label, and I'm honest about that. I went from someone who never looked at the label to understanding, the impact of my decisions. And my advice to them is what I said earlier, is that you don't have to be perfect. That whole idea, it's almost like when you set a goal for dieting. If you fast or go cold turkey, it's a lot harder to meet the goals that you're trying to do. And I know that's a weird way of wording it, but if you try to do it all at once, I have a feeling that you'll fail. But try it a little bit at a time, educate yourself, look for organizations that help you find American made, including us, U.S.A.30days.com. That's what we're here for. We want to help you find manufacturers. And I think that you'll feel that it's satisfying when you put that effort into something and know you're making a difference in your community, in your country. So don't get discouraged. Do it a little bit at a time. A small amount of effort can make a difference in this country. I got a call the other day, and it was from he was a former Marine, and he was trying to excuse me for not thinking of his name off the top of my head. I believe it was Jack, and he was going to create a saw, and he wanted to market it in America and invest it and get American investors to put it into his company. And he said, I went to probably over 400 investors, and they all told me no, they can't make it here. They don't want to make it here. And he said, Josh, I'm calling you because the Made in America community is looking to you. And he said they're looking to you for answers. And I'm asking you for help. He says, I know you probably can't invest in my company, but can you direct me to people? I said, well, of course I can. And after we got done talking about different aspects of his company, he said, Josh, thank you, and thank you for being a voice. He said, a lot of the times it's easier to believe in someone than something. And he said, thank you for giving American manufacturing and these new upcoming businesses a voice. And sometimes you get up and down in this movement because sometimes you feel like people don't care, you get kind of down. But when you get phone calls like that, I mean, that perks you up and realizes it doesn't matter how many movies I sell. I'm working on a more important issue here, and that's the future of our country. And right now, there's nothing more important than that, is to get our country back on the right path. And once again, I think that our film will do that. Given some recent developments in the Made in America movement and our film, this is going to be our last, likely our last screening here at the Alliance for American Manufacturing. And we're proud to finish up here with the theatrical screenings here in D.C. The heart of America here. So, given that our new phase that we're going to move into, and it kind of dawned upon me after I got back from visiting Toyota, is that it's important to bring products to the people and what's going on in our country to the people through what we're going to do is YouTube reviews. We're going to start reviewing Made in U.S.A. products. We're going to reach out to manufacturers that produce here in America, and we are going to make a full-fledged effort to bring these products to the people. And I think it's important that people get honest reviews. So I'm not going to have people sending me cash just to review their product. I'm going to give them brutally honest reviews. And we're going to have a rating system. We're working on some different aspects, so that could be coming to the fans very soon. And I think we're going to title it "That Made in USA Guy," because that seems like that's what people call me anymore. A lot of people, they know my name is Josh, but they always say, "Hey, what about that Made in USA guy?" So that's the phase that we're moving into. It's a new, exciting phase, and I think it's gonna benefit consumers for them to come to our YouTube channels, our Twitter feed, and our website, USA30days.com, and check out these reviews. And I think it's going to be an exciting new phase of the movement.